Hi F1 enthusiast and welcome to my first video of this channel. My name is David and I am a long-time F1 fan, and I want to start sharing some thoughts with you on what's going on in F1 on and off the race weekends. So let's start. Today I want to talk about how Max Verstappen Singapore Grand Prix unfolded and why right at the beginning it was cursed not to win this race. But before going into Max Verstappen's weekend, I just want to mention what an incredible race we just witnessed. Well done to Sergio Perez. He well deserved this victory. He's done an incredible job both in quali and in the race to hold off Charles Leclerc. And finally, Daniel Ricciardo back in the points, P5 on checkered flag. I just so happy for him. So let's break everything down in order. First practice actually went quite well and smoothly, and Max has done around 20 laps and was just 1/10 off Hamilton's top of the sheet. So far so good. It all started to unfold in practice 2, when Max Verstappen only had 8 laps of practice, and as his team told that it was due to some huge setup changes. But at the end of the day, he didn't have any long run practice, and I think he had only 1 or 2 shots of quali lap, and it put him in a 4th position and 3.5 tenths behind both Ferraris and George Russell. So yeah, of course, on the hindsight, we know that these practices in the dry sessions were useless, basically, because we had both quali and race in the wet. Well, the Q3 in quali was on slicks, but anyway. Actually, third practice wasn't so bad for Max Verstappen because it was raining in the morning of Saturday, and everyone was in the same position. Everyone had only 1 hour before quali to change some setups if they want to. But still, at the end of the session, Max was half a second behind Charles Leclerc, and throughout the whole year, these two guys are fighting for the top position in quali and in the race. And honestly, my quali prediction was Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz. And oh boy, I was so close. And instead of Max Verstappen, it was Sergio Perez. Again, it's not the theme of this video, but yeah, it was great. Oh, and now comes the fun part, the quali. And let's head down straight to the Q3, as this session had the most questions, right? Everyone, well, throughout the Q1 and Q3, everyone was on a Inters, and even at the end of Q2, Aston Martins, if I remember correctly, tried the slicks, but it didn't work out, and everyone understand that they were on the edge from switching from Inters to slicks. And as we saw, that straight from the garage, everyone was on a slick tires, the soft tires. And of course, they didn't want to lose time in a garages. Everyone was full tanked for the whole session, and the first few runs, Verstappen was all right, but again, it was only with 8s. Which is not the place he wanted to start, of course. And the penultimate flying lap, that's what I want to talk about. Why Red Bull actually asked Max Verstappen to abandon this lap? Well, of course, I understand that they wanted to be the last the last car to cross the line and to start the flying lap, to get the best track in terms of the grip and yeah, basically the grip. But again, he was flying. He has 2 purple sectors, and yeah, they just had to make him like finish this lap, to be honest. And then, even when they made the decision to abandon this lap, didn't they have the information that they don't have the fuel to go to another flying lap? And after that, he had to go in lap again, very long lap actually. And then after the session, his car also had to have at least 1 liter of fuel for the FIA to check if it's all in regularity and etc. So yeah, honestly, don't understand what happened. Definitely was a mistake from very rarest mistake from Red Bull, but still, it was a mistake. And finally, the race. I'm not a fan of if, buts, and maybe, so I won't speculate what would have happened if Max started at the front, but it could have easily be another 2017. Hello. The Twitter of Ferrari, the infamous one. I will put it right somewhere here for sure. Max had a horrible start. He had an anti-stall right at the start. He was down 4 positions from 8 when he started to 12 by the end of lap 1, and it went very badly and not how he expected, and not what happened back in Spa or Hungary or even Monza. Max for sure made a few overtakes, but then he was stuck behind Fernando Alonso, who was, as we all know, one of the greatest defenders in the sport. So yeah, it was tough. They were battling, but I wouldn't say it was like a battle, because Max have never been like side to side with Fernando. He was always like 1 or 2 cars lengths behind him. And unfortunately, when Fernando Alonso's engine just switched off, we didn't see the battle. So yeah, tough one. And the nail in the coffin was the last safety car restart, when Max was trying to overtake Lando for 4th position, which would have been decent in terms of what have happened during this weekend, but he locked his tires, he went to the escape road, he lost around 4 or 5 positions, his tires were dead, he had to pit again, was dead last, like 13 or 14, honestly I don't remember how many cars already DNF'd. But yeah, on the soft tires, he was quite decent. He overtook a lot of cars, ended up 7th. But I'm sure that this race is the one to forget for Max Verstappen, and which this is very good for him, that in a 5 days time there will be Japanese Grand Prix when he can actually clinch the 2nd world titles. Again, conditions applied. Oh, and actually one more episode which I wanted to talk about is the ending of the VSC, where Max was again next to Lando, his old friend. And when I was watching the TV, on a screen there was like the VSC is ending and there is a green light, and I saw in a small box and Max actually overtook Lando, but then he gave the position back. He lost around 2 seconds, because when the green light actually was on, yeah, Max was around 2 or 2.5 seconds behind Lando, which is weird. Again, one of the episodes which definitely is not what Max will remember or wants to remember. But yeah, just wanted to mention that as well in Max Verstappen very bad weekend. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I did my best not to miss anything about Max's doomed weekend. But if I did, please leave a comment below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I will post frequently about the F1 Live, some news. On the race weekends I will cover practices, quali and races. So yeah, take care and peace.